twice in a row, Chair.
Okay.
Okay, so we are now to discussing the 3-month projection.
Yes.
That was sent out on the listserv. I know that a couple of you were here specifically to talk about finances. So
I was going to say,
Yeah.
we have good. Okay. Do you
I read it earlier today.
You did?
Yeah.
So we aren't at public participation yet, we're just at finance.
yeah, we're
Okay.
just at finance.
Right.
But here's the deal, because people came specifically for that, I'm going to kind of allow comment
Well,
during that session.
Could I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
Just to save everybody time and consideration, is anybody here to talk about anything other than the 3-month projection? So that they don't wait 50 minutes to say, I liked the show last night or something.
I did like the show last night. Great web session.
Thank you.
It was. I was upstairs. I was enjoying it.
Okay.
Okay, so every remaining comment has to do with this.
Nice self-aggrandizement.
Okay. What?
I said nice self-aggrandizement.
I didn't mean my show.
I
I didn't even say which one.
I'm joking with you. Okay. So, Andy had a couple of comments, I think, to start us off, Mike, and then we'll kind of enter into a dialogue for you.
Yeah, so since everyone's already looked over that, so one of the things I've been doing is assessing all of the vinyl and doing CDs, a bunch of stuff upstairs, and assessing it for sale. So I was thinking we'd be doing WEFT, we'd have a table and a bunch of other things. Well, okay. Some of the vinyl, for example, is worth $100. Like that we've got stuff that's pristine or been played. So okay. So one of the people helping me, her undergraduate degree is architecture, and so when she's been helping me, she's been looking around.
You say Lane?
No, this is actually Gabriella.
Okay.
She's also a library science person, so she's been helping me with that side of things. But since she's been here, she's been putting in 40 hours a week along with me for the last several weeks up there.
Wow.
Travis
Whoa.
Paul has also been spending 40 hours a week with me up there, assessing and working through
What's
stuff.
Gabriella's last name for the minutes?
Stuardi.
Okay.
Stuardi.
U-A-R-D.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things she was thinking is she was looking at the spaces. We've got those 3 windows, and if we elevate the ceiling, we could make efficiencies, 2 or 3 efficiencies up there. Now, one of the things you can get loans possibly for are renovations, not least of which, if you're planning to rent out the space, that gives them how we get some of the money back, like for 5 years. So we could renovate up top for that reason, to try to rent them out and make income that way. Or at the very least, if we were to sell the building, renovations would increase the value quite a lot. So thus we can end up selling it for a lot more. So there's several different reasons why renovating it anyway, like the basic renovations could be just fixing the roof and some other stuff. She thinks, I don't know, but maybe let's estimate 50,000, 60,000 to do that, to renovate. We could possibly get a loan, not least of which if we're doing it for rental units, the bank will know how they're getting their money back, that kind of deal. Or even if we promise we're going to be selling it afterwards, we're trying to increase the value, that would make something, presumably it would make sense to the banks of why we would be trying to do that and give them a reason for why they might loan it to us, because they'd be getting their money back.
How much to renovate, did you say?
No, she's
Okay.
she was estimating, but we don't, she's
All
from,
right.
she's from Italy,
Numbers
so
off the book.
she was trying to, like, who knows what it's like there versus here, but she just said maybe 50,000, 60,000 or something. So
I can see that. I just renovated a home and it cost $2,000 to do it. And that's just 2 people doing it, like trying to keep costs down as much as possible. No professional contractors involved.
Okay.
So depending on the type of renovations we wanted to make, if we decide not to try to make it into, say, several efficiencies up there, then we could at least just do the basic renovations, get a loan, and then we could sell the building for a lot more. So that was one way for selling it. And then we had each apartment would be $400 or $500 each. It's downtown Champaign. It's up above. It's really hard to get a 1-bedroom apartment anywhere around here. It's usually like 800 or above.
Okay.
So that, even if you said 500, it's a small place. We're like, okay, it's downtown, the bus line's right around the corner, etc.
Okay.
So, so that's kind of final assessment sales is something that might be somewhat beneficial here, and then the other information I thought would also be beneficial as far as making our decisions about what to cut or how to plant. That's some information that maybe you haven't thought about or
Okay.
whatever.
What's the cut?
What's that?
What do you think of in terms of cutting?
Cutting. Oh, there's nothing to cut in the donor snap.
Okay.
Essentially, we can't really depend on donations of paper towels.
Yeah.
I think we have been, actually.
But obviously we can't just depend on
Right.
And printer paper, like,
Yeah.
I mean, we could just make sure that we now
We're
have to go to
pretty-
homeworks and figure out what kind of like
Yeah,
extra
we're
cheap
pretty-
stuff they've
we're
got
pretty
there or
lean
something,
on
but
those things.
it's just so there's such little money that the donor snap is $79, so that's the largest
Nothing,
of them.
Okay.
And then we were talked about the sour and closed section and some
Yeah.
other stuff, so I think that's kind of we don't have the options almost. It seems like.
Okay, does any board members have any other comments currently?
If we get enough people from in-house who are willing to volunteer, and we get someone among them who is certified to direct us all, we might be able to go ahead and save some money on renovations. I know, say
She's
that
actually drafted plans already. She's actually already sat there and has drafted plans on how the roofs will
I'm
look.
willing to put in
We need a
some
civil engineer to
labor.
certify those plans, but she's actually already done them.
I have a question I don't even like, but I feel like I should ask it.
Mm-hmm.
I know over the years we've had lots of people say that if we focused more on streaming and we were not a terrestrial radio station, they would quit because they have no interest in being part of something that's not strictly a terrestrial station. If we, for instance, sold the tower and went completely streaming, would that buy us 2 weeks, 4 weeks?
It's about $1,300 a month.
Owning the tower, I mean.
Huh?
Don't we own the tower?
No, we rent.
Tower rent.
We rent.
It's tower rent.
We rent. So it saves us about $1,300 between power and rent.
What about that thing when we had the second tower and we sold it? Don't we?
We sold the frequency.
Oh, well, okay, that's what I'm talking about, the frequency.
Oh, so.
Oh.
If we sold the frequency, would that get us 30,000, 10,000?
I'm not gonna speculate.
Well, could we look into it?
We can. I don't.
Yes, I think
remember
that
what we
seems
sold.
reasonable. While I am violently personally opposed to that.
Me too.
That does not mean that if we put it to a vote for all associates, they might not vote for that, and we should at least have the information
Yes.
to know if it's remotely viable.
If I may quickly clarify, I'm opposed to ever selling the building and I'm opposed to ever selling the frequency, but if the alternative is losing all the programming we have because we're done,
Right.
I can maybe acclimate to some of this stuff.
We'd have to evaluate what our operating costs would be in that case, like non-terrestrial.
Well, I'm thinking it might be more advantageous to sell the frequency than to sell the building.
Well, because there's a number of people that rely on those CDs and things to do their shows. So if you didn't even have the building, then that's why there would even be a station. Because
And the
we're
reason
going to all do this from home.
The
We can
reason
do
I bring that
all
up,
week.
Andrew's
and
talked
it's all
about with
cost
me
less.
when we all do our shows from our home studios, and I tried to say I don't have a home
I don't
studio.
either, yeah.
I
I've got a very loud
It's not
dog that barks and a cat that likes to meow a lot.
And web sessions, we couldn't do that in
no.
somebody's apartment.
No.
Efficiency.
Okay.
Can the public make a comment?
Yep.
Do I need to
Sure.
wait? So, just a little comment, there's a fellow, Larry Williams, you guys heard of the WEFT 98.3?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Larry sold out 2 years ago and went completely online on terrestrial radio. Now, that's a very sad thing, but I don't know if he would offer his opinion on this. I don't know that he's in competition with us or not, but he'll certainly give us some insight.
Anybody in competition with us is winning right now.
Yes.
I mean, he operates out of the church he bought in Leroy now, with his online things, but he is local, and perhaps he could come and give us some insights. And he also sold between himself and one other person, they worked every day for, I think, however many years he owned that radio station. Like he said, he didn't take a day off in like 5 or 6 years. And he, just, for sales. I'm just saying, it might be.
Well, if I may follow up, same as with Will, where we really need to meet with him again yesterday. If you could, since you actually know him.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I've read articles on
Okay.
it, just researching.
Well, if maybe we could find a way to solicit his opinion this week.
Facebook. I don't think the world is hidden anymore. I think you can contact anybody willingly.
Pretty much.
Most
Yeah.
people have
Yeah.
Facebook, yeah.
As I
He
said,
has a show, and the show has a Facebook.
Oh, that's true.
as I
He
said,
did show that makes sense.
I really don't want to give up the frequency, but it's a valuable commodity that seems not any more important than owning our building.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think Andy can vouch for my carpentry skills.
Could I add one more thing?
Yeah.
We had the whole debate about expanding our ID and how we legally are licensed to be in Champaign. Technically, even though I don't want to move, technically, we wouldn't have to be in Champaign if we weren't a terrestrial radio station with frequency. We could be in, I mean, I couldn't do my show from Savoy, but we could do it from Urbana if we had to.
We can do it anywhere.
Yeah,
But if you sell the frequency, does that dissolve WEFT in itself?
I don't
All
know.
letters?
That's why I'm
Because
asking.
It's tied to Champaign, but is it tied to that frequency as well?
Those call letters are resold. The
Yeah,
FCC
Carla
will
does.
give Camden out to someone else.
That's what I'm saying, so is it even WEFT at that point?
It might be community radio for East Central Illinois, WWWW.
Stations? That's a lot.
Well, you can,
For a
Radio
certain-
bomb.
for a certain level donation, you can be.
Hey, you're broke. Pitching something.
Hey, I tried to, well, I offered to sell my Led Zeppelin ticket stubs on my radio show today, but nobody did. My original Led Zeppelin ticket stubs, because there's a rumor that Led Zeppelin's going to reunite. So I said, I've got my 3 original Led Zeppelin ticket stubs. If somebody will make a generous donation, they're yours.
Did you have anything else?
Didn't get anything.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
I like hearing about this stuff.
My first concert.
So where does that put us?
You don't even wanna know what mine was.
On that, just a
Yeah.
side note, I know they do this in most larger cities, and I don't know how it's done in zoning in Champaign, but can't you just sell the top floor?
We've had extensive conversations about that, but everything I've heard is that renovating the top floor would cost more than what we'd sell it for. And while I'm still, actually, if I may, my idea for a while has been, let's sell the top floor as a fixer-upper,
Right.
and anything we get
Yeah.
for it, they can throw whatever, that we shouldn't worry about renovating it and delaying selling it 2 years. But if we're gonna get, say, less than 10,000 for it as a fixer-upper, or if it greatly impacts the value of selling the rest of the building when we have to, then it might not be worth it, but I still think we should explore it.
On Andy's idea in conversations with the architect, what if you did something like this building? What if you made artist spaces to rent out
Yes, I talked.
instead of actual, you
Yeah.
wouldn't have to put that much effort
Yeah,
into it.
exactly.
The only thing that
yeah.
worries me about that is I know that was what the Institute for Creativity was trying to do, and from what I understand, they didn't have much success with it. And they were
I
like,
thought there's still.
They did until some people messed with the church, and that was them running it out, and then that's why.
okay,
There were
well,
some people that was not part of I4C,
there's also
but
the
some
fact,
people that were coming there that decided to go, oh, let's mess with the church, because that's fun.
well, there's also the fact that the couple that ran it got the ugliest divorce I've ever heard of.
And that was also, yes, that was another part of it. But, yeah, so I had posed, I was thinking, Gabriella was looking at that with efficiencies. I was like, well, maybe just a meeting space. Like,
Yeah.
some people need meeting spaces we could just rent out, because it used to be an
Our
office,
office,
and we could
yeah.
maybe make 2 meeting spaces just like that, and we
Our
wouldn't have to put
office
much money
rents out
into
the train
it, maybe.
station For
Right.
hundreds of dollars just to have a day meeting there.
Yeah.
We used
Yeah.
to have our meetings there.
Yeah.
WEF did.
well, and the problem, one of the things we're gonna face with the room thing, with being a rental space, is the lack of accessibility of that floor.
That was the thing. The fire escape, we could put one on the outside, that being one part of it. The other one is, we could, of course, this would be new though. Those like little chairs that could carry you up, like,
Oh, those
The-
lift chairs, those lift
yeah,
chairs.
just like up the stairs.
Yeah.
I think we grandfather the accessibility with the age of that building.
We
Now,
are.
Fire stuff, we don't, but the accessibility. we do.
No, we are grandfathered in. I'm just saying that the issue with how many people might ever want to rent the building, let's say if we had a room that we rented out to organizations for meeting space, we would be limited in the number of organizations we could rent to because of the lack of accessibility to that second floor. Because
Yeah.
a lot of organizations have in their, like a lot of grants now, require you to have a cultural, linguistic, and accessibility plan. And holding your meetings, holding board meetings in accessible places would go against that plan, which would disqualify you for grants. So a lot of places might not rent it. That's
In
one thing that
addition,
would hurt us.
the Up Center, when I talked to them about a year or so ago, when they were looking for new space, one of the things that Stephanie, the head at the time, had told me was, because I mentioned a couple places that she was concerned about accessibility, specifically like just for the people coming.
Uh-huh.
Not even like a legal thing, but just concerned about who would be making it open to the people.
Yep.
So I think you're right that even outside of which is good to know that I didn't know that about the grants. But there might be some people that might not want to rent it just because
Right.
they want to make sure that everyone can come to the, and make sure it's
What about Airbnb?
At that point, why not sell the 24/7 Saints?
Oh, God, no.
Well, the
Would it depend how much they were offering?
Yeah.
The good thing is that you can have volunteers who work on buildings like that. They have to be volunteers. The work has to pass code. So your business is different. Like you said, you have to have an architect approve the plan.
Civil engineer. Yeah.
Well, yeah, civil engineer.
Or that architects can't, they can do the designs, and sometimes if they go extra certification, they can do it, but they have to have that, someone has to make sure that basically, that the design is not gonna fall, or it's not gonna be a shoddy products, or.
Our neighbor,
materials.
the next street over is an architect. I don't remember what he charges, but it's significantly less than the big architects around here. Works out of his back room, so.
Yeah.
Part of
Someone
the,
who's very
also,
similar.
part of the issue though, is because of the lack of wiring up there, we would need, with Champaign building codes in both places, we would need some sort of licensed bonded electrician to run some light up there.
Might have one of those.
Same thing with plumbing, if we want to plumb up there.
Don't have that.
I guess maybe, that people without, as long as it passes the inspection, that anyone can do it if it's donated.
Starting to wonder if we
If
should
it's
grab our
donated.
experts and start collaborating.
Now that you mention it, plumbing would probably be our biggest,
What happens, and I'll just say a brief note here, is a lot of those codes, when you touch anything, it means everything has to be up to compliance. So in other words, if you open a permit to do electrical work upstairs, it means the whole building has to be in compliance. So the same with plumbing, they will inspect it. So this, I had a case for another non-for-profit where they had a building, and they said, well, we want to renovate it. So they tore it out, and they went in for inspection, they said, oh, well, now you have to be up to code. Well, they couldn't afford to make it up to code, so they had to tear the building down and sell the land.
Well, I know of a nonprofit who did the same, and they were just doing like the back room, and they were just wiring it up, and the city came and goes, oh, your entire building's not grounded. So you have to replace all the wiring, and that's gonna be, I think it ended up like $80,000 of electrical work.
Because the building's probably not grounded.
Yeah. So,
That's a good thing, that is an important thing to know, yeah.
I'm an electrical engineer, I'm not a professional engineer. I know what I'm doing.
yes, you do. You're an electrical engineer, right? Okay.
Yay.
Okay. That's good enough.
But perhaps if we have some type of plan, this is something that we could at least get some type of loan for, particularly given that we have, it's not a fantasy, we just want to make it better, but we have
Yeah.
like a set plan of, we will be doing this with it, this with it, this with it, and we're trying to do it like this, and we've been talking to these people, so perhaps we can at least get however much or what we need to do, whether or not we can do all the things that we might want to do, but, get some kind of loan down.
this
So
does
there's a
make,
bit of a leak in the roof, a little bit of leaks, that's gonna have to be fixed at some point, I bet.
this does make me think the frequency might be more viable than partly, like, the upstairs separate.
I don't remember what we made when we sold the frequency up there.
Well, it was supposed to be worth twice as much as we wound up getting for it. I think we got 20, but it was supposed to be worth 40.
Why did we only get 20?
Because they mostly wanted to keep it so that a Christian radio station couldn't get it, and it seemed like it was less about being profitable than about spite. But all those people are gone. But frequencies I don't think have appreciated over the years, so I don't know that it would still be worth what it was 5 years ago.
Slightly. They slightly have because
Oh.
of the data need of mobile phones.
Yeah.
So frequencies
Yeah.
are.
Well, considering I don't think we've even investigated that, at least it's something that we could look into.
Yeah, I agree, I think we,
Okay.
Because we could all still, the only reason we couldn't still do our shows is if somebody's just arbitrarily not willing to. And I know Bob Gillespie's not willing to.
Okay.
We have
But then
studios.
there's newer
Well-
people who might want to come in and have different shows that are different from ones normally during the day that might even be better for WEFT. So,
That's why I'm
I'm not a
throwing it
board
out.
member, but I'm saying.
Are we
Actually, I'm
talking-
throwing it out there just because I'm throwing out anything I can think
Yeah.
Are we talking streaming here?
Yeah.
If we were
Oh,
strictly
yeah.
streaming,
but
which,
if we
Yeah.
still had building,
yeah, if we still had the building,
okay.
that makes more sense to me than if we,
I'm more okay with that, although that does mean that we aren't able to reach the folks out in the country and the other
Oh.
places, which I think is actually important that we do.
I think it's important we do, but it beats not reaching anybody.
I agree, but given that we also the building, because that also, again, makes it easier for new folks that don't have much music yet, that want to do stuff, they don't have to somehow now come up with their own music,
And
come up with their own, like, they
We
can
haven't
actually,
even talked
and with
about the large, we've in the past talked about it, but where, for instance, the local music collection goes to, where, for instance, the metal collection goes to. We have valuable exclusive stuff that could just become homeless.
Right.
that's actually what I've been working on.
Right.
I've not just been assessing the vinyl. Travis has already assessed all of the metal CDs, and he's actually gone through all the hard rock, all the rock vinyl, indie plus other. We've gone through all of the jazz, most of the folk, and now we actually put period values on that, all of 45. So I've actually done quite a lot with that.
Right.
But even with the CDs, yeah, that's something that if the ones that are in Great Hall, those would still
Right.
need to be assessed, but those are active, so that's.
But I would suggest we don't have to go into that until we lose the building, so.
I agree for that part. Upstairs, it's all been culled.
Right.
That's why it's already basically been like forgotten and basically
Yeah.
thrown away. So that's why I've been thinking, well, we've got these gems.
Yeah.
The Elliott Smith, $100. I
Right.
could not believe it. Like, oh my God, okay. And the next one I looked up was another 100. I was like,
So where does that
oh
put
my
us?
God.
All right, so does anybody have
Yeah.
anything else specifically on the financial? We've also talked about financial development, so we covered it next. I don't want to
Which I did mention that I'll dig it up, but I did find an old financial development plan up in the attic, so I'll see if it has anything. I put it aside, so.
Denise?
Uh,
I'm sorry.
No, no. Well, I mean, I just have a thing, now, I know the Grateful Dead hour is back. And like, now, do we actually pay for that, or what's the situation with the Grateful Dead hour?
The situation.
Well, I mean, because I'm sorry, Jermaine, but I mean, like, I know we just had a fundraiser for it, but I heard somebody say, well, we raised enough to pay half, for the Grateful Dead hour, and I'm thinking, okay, well, then where's the other half coming from, you know? I mean, why are we paying for any
We're
show at all? That's my question.
So the situation, what happened there, is of course it went off the air. I forget how long ago.
At least a year.
And,
Not any more than a year.
and so people coalesced who wanted it back on the air, and they talked to David Gans about the finances.
Was he waiving the fee? That was why I was there.
He
I
said,
think so,
what
yeah.
we can raise, he'll accept. And so what they're doing is they're raising money as a collective specifically for it. And no additional WEFT money is going into it at all.
Okay, that's what I
So
wanted
they're
to hear.
raising money specifically for that show, which is, if people want to raise money for their shows,
Fine.
have at
Yeah,
it.
great.
And finally, are you part of that collective?
I thought you, what did you,
The Grateful Dead?
yeah, did you do any of that? Okay.
Okay. I didn't want to leave you out if you knew more about it than we did.
I was paying attention, I spaced out right.
That's
So,
how meetings work.
so
That's
that's,
why they thought you were the Grateful Dead.
You win.
so that's the whole thing, no WEFT money's going into it.
Okay,
They're raising enough money to keep it on, and that's that.
And that's
So-
actually why they'd gone off the air, because we hadn't paid for it previously, and that's one of the things that the board at the time, and I was on it, Andrew, but
I thought we saw it when we
I
decided
think we
that.
did, but just because the last few times I've said that,
Yeah.
you're like, I was not, so.
Well, what
Yeah.
I
And that
remember
was the things we
saying,
pointed out, we're like, we're sorry, but we just can't afford anything, and then
Yeah.
so, and they got a lot of support to say, like, we really want the show, and then we'll help pay for it, we'll do it this way, so it's great.
Mhm.
But yeah, so yeah.
Okay.
So,
you know, we might, I think this is productive, or I wouldn't bring it up. If it was so important to that collective to keep the show on the air, we probably should remind them that the show only stays on the air as long as we have a station. Because they seem to have fundraising abilities that the rest of us don't.
Well, perhaps in that case, we would ask for their assistance, because I don't think we don't need, we don't want them to basically be punished for doing a good job.
Oh, God,
Like,
no, no.
You know, like,
all-
we just
all
got
I'm
money for
saying-
this show, and now we've got to keep the station.
All I'm
Let's
saying
do
is
this.
they should be aware that they could lose it again if we don't have a building and we don't have, you know?
Sure, but I think then we should still go and
They're wanting
ask.
us to sell drugs.
No, that's just because there's so many deadheads out there.
They are, yeah. That's the thing, is that, yeah. I mean, they have the ability maybe we should talk to them.
Well,
Yes,
that-
get their help and stuff, get them involved a lot more in certain
The
things by
fundamental,
doing so.
the fundamental
perhaps,
point I wanna make to people is, we have air shifters that say, well, I'm not gonna pay my dues because I don't agree with this and I still have a show anyway. And the point is, none of us will have a show anyway if we're gone. And we can lose the frequency and we can still have shows, we could maybe even lose the building, but if we just completely cease to exist, everybody's show goes down the toilet, period.
Is there, on that point, is there somebody who wants to just tell people to get the F out if they don't pay their dues?
I do.
I mean, I don't have a problem volunteering my services,
Yes.
telling people to get the hell out, because honestly,
So,
my whole thing about coming here is that attitude drags everybody down.
Bob, that's
So
one
Bob's the
reason
web
I was on
counsel.
the programming
Okay.
committee,
Yeah.
and I don't know how many
Yeah,
times
okay.
I brought that up at the programming committee. I'm like, we need to make these people accountable, they can't
Yes.
just come in and do their show and then, okay, go home, whatever.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I left the programming committee is because I was so pissed off because nobody, I mean, they're finally taking that into consideration,
Yes.
and finally taking it seriously, and I know they are working on it, but.
It's
that's one
taking way
reason
too
why I
long,
left the
essentially.
program.
Yes.
Exactly,
It's way too
yeah.
long. It's been months and months
You
before
can't
it goes.
ask somebody to donate money if you can't donate yourself.
Yeah.
And there's no way someone's on the air saying, give me money during a fundraiser, if they don't even give themselves.
Yeah.
So they may say they're taking part of this, but they're actually not.
Well,
And
it's
it's
also
easy-
not supporting the station either, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the minute, that's it.
Okay.
I broke $40 is a lot to me,
So-
but yet,
Yeah.
that's
So
something
does
that
anybody
is
have
going to the
anything else
station,
on-
so they're not really
Okay.
supporting the station,
does
they
anybody
can't
else
do
have anything
that.
on these topics?
The only misgiving I
What's
have is
that?
that PC's meeting right now, so they can't be here to speak to it, but.
Yeah.
Are we still talking about the fund,
Yeah.
ideas on
Oh,
financials?
Yeah.
oh, I gotta look at those. Yep.
I had a thought on, underwriting itself.
Okay.
I don't think we're offering enough for underwriters. Because we call it underwriting, the rest of the world calls it advertisement.
Which
And
we can.
Yeah,
I know we
technically,
can't, and that's not a problem. But other radio stations and other businesses, other online magazines are giving professional level advertisements, services, things like that at the same cost, if not less. And we're providing me stumbling over an address on the air as a service to them for giving us hundreds of dollars.
So you're saying you want like pre-recorded drop-ins?
We have them.
Well,
Then that's just it.
but you want them to be enforced.
I just think they should be enforced. And underwriting itself is not being played the way it should. You look at the log and it's ridiculous.
I agree.
I've been just trying to figure out what was going on. Were you?
Yeah, it's like
It was just like, okay, I'm hoping I'm picking the one in the right order.
yeah, absolutely. Because there's just so many, and that was the same thing whenever I was there on Thursday nights. There's so many hours of gaps, and you promise people that, and it only takes one time for someone to say, "Oh, I listen, I listen 24 hours a day," but I never heard mine. Or whenever Bob said it, he mispronounced my name, and I'm gone.
Yeah.
Like that's just to me it just seems like, and this is a whole nother level of things. But we talked about working on the website and making it better. And my idea was to offer not ad space, but just a picture that this like an ad that this company supports WEFT. Just as here's more for you. Here's
We call it
more.
sponsorship.
Yeah, here's more of your sponsorship to get visible on our website to everybody that
And I
goes to
agree,
that.
and
And if we're
totally-
streaming, that's all we're doing. That's the main focus.
I'm totally on board with that.
I just think that we need to give more for underwriting because people. I made the suggestion, and may be dubious, but that's who I am, of asking Smile politely for what they charge for advertising. Because honestly, they give minimal level of advertisement possible, and I know that it's hundreds of dollars. At least 5 years ago, when they came to the business that I ran for advertising,
Okay.
and they wouldn't even, they put up pixelated pictures and things like that. So it's like, ask them I don't know how to ask them. Somebody who has a business give that information, and then find out what that is, and then go for their people who advertise. Because that Smile Polly has a music section, so people are going to, and it was based on a music company. People go to that because of that, so that could be potential underwriters for us. And if we could do that at a cheaper price and give them the same level of, I offer my graphic abilities, and just like, I think we could do more for our underwriters. And just if I had a business, which I ran a business, and if someone came to me and said, and my business at the time I was there did underwrite WEFT. We underwrote for Circability. But that was only because Jet was a good friend of everybody at the business. And we've been on the show multiple times and had a relationship. And it's hard to build relationships with people around here when they can't see themselves in a lot of programming we have.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people don't want to give me money to hear me say fuck this, fuck that on my radio show. But there may be people who do. Smile. I just think that we should do more for underwriting. Give them more, give them options. And because everybody else they're only going to go to News Gazette because that's all they know.
Right.
And News Gazette tells them that their website gets so many hits a day, so that's so many times a day that somebody would possibly see your traffic. They can quantify that. We can't quantify radio. We can do the web, but we can't say 300 people in a nursing home are listening to us at this time at 11 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And, a war house is listening to us on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock at night.
Really?
Hopefully. That's my demographic. But, we can't quantify radio. We can do with the web what we see. But with web trafficking, we can. You can see, with web tools, how many
Well,
people
not
come
totally,
through a set.
because we can't see, for instance, we can see that Radio Free America streaming, but we can't see how many people are listening on it. We can see that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But digital, like the digital.
But if they go to our website, you can see how many people go to our website
Yeah,
a month, and you can say to
Oh,
the
yeah,
person,
yeah.
here's the traffic we
Yeah,
have.
exactly.
Yeah.
And, we talked about making our website better and making new information that people may want to get there, and that's a whole nother ball and chain. But, I just think we should offer more.
Could I add something to what Bob said?
No.
When Jermaine and I previously were on the board, and I only bring that up because Andrew is the only board member who's been on the board consistently more than, a year at this point?
Wait.
That's kind of frightening. No, you have to.
Year and a half.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
he's been
Right.
basically he's always been on
Right.
the board for the last
But
number of years.
We
I'm just
had,
kidding.
I think, 3 expensive consultants waive their fees and come in and advise us. And I would say the one bit of bad advice we got, because we ignored all of the advice, but the one bit of advice that there was a good counter argument for was we were told that instead of our membership fee being $40, it needed to be 80 or 100, or we said, okay, Will's membership fee is $40, and you get a lot as a member at Will.
Absolutely.
How in the world do we justify, with the income level of our people at Web, making it twice what it is at Will when we offer them less for their money? And that's the only reason we've kept it at 40, because we had board members who wanted to make it where half the people on the board couldn't stay members.
Yeah, I would not have been able to. The one that actually Travis joined because he was helping with the archives, and that's actually why this past week he paid his dues. But he had to save up for quite a while too.
Right.
There's other folks that that.
But the point is, we can't justify asking more than 40 when Will is only charging 40, and actually people can show I get this and this and this and
And
this.
how much is underwriting a year?
For us or for them?
Like, if I wanted to get underwriting on web, how much does it cost me?
It depends, if you want.
Rotating.
I want the best.
Normal, but.
Lady just given us the figures before, and I don't have them in front of me. 100 something was it?
And Lainey, you can't be here
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be,
So on the website, I know previously it'd been because we didn't, in part, have enough people to help with that. So like to make it, just the underwriting would make it kind of better and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think they've been using interns, which is always that. But perhaps when we have the discussion with associates about the direness, we can say we've got some possible solutions. y'all wanna help us keep it going, and then broach that as one of that part of it too, of, okay, we need armies here, we need little
Yeah.
teams, okay, so we're gonna have a graphic design team who can help us with this, who's volunteering, you're volunteering, and they can y'all can work together, and start working on that kind of thing. Perhaps that'll pull some more people out of the woodwork that'll start volunteering some
Yeah,
time.
I mean, because
That's a good idea. I
I've
like
had
what
this
you're saying.
conversation with Todd, and I've had it with Jermaine, I've had it with Laney, I've had it with other people. My thought on the website was to go in a music magazine direction.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
with tools, I mean, I've done web design stuff, and I do my websites and stuff like that. You can pull from existing websites, and the way I had it set up, I was supposed to screenshot that for the board, sorry. The way I had it set up is, let's take Ethan for instance. Ethan has his own website for his show, Global Psychedelia. Global Psychedelia is his own thing on the website. On WEFT's website, we pull in what Ethan updates. So whatever is on Ethan's website is on our website. Ethan doesn't have to update anything else. Same thing with people who have pages on their Facebook page. That does Facebook, we pull in what's the Facebook. No one has to do extra work than they're already doing.
Yeah.
In fact, it may encourage people to do more work. But like I write articles, post things, Brian posts things. You know, other people are posting stuff on Facebook, and that gets aggregated into their own page and just like creates a collective place for this.
And provide more valuable content for anyone
Plus,
visiting there, because that'll all be one place.
Plus, you can listen to WEF while you're doing it.
Yep.
And so therefore, and that gives more opportunity for more pages for advertisement, more pages for underwriting. It just gives you bigger opportunities, and it's automatic, so I don't have to wait and beg Lori or get Lori's time to update the website. If I did it myself, it's done.
Yep.
And running it like a blog where I can do it from my phone right now. I can update an article that I want on my website. I do it right from my phone, and it's there. And it goes to Facebook, and it goes to Twitter, and all those things that are out there. And I just think building something that people do want to underwrite for, you know, having that, whatever, like, we have some underwriters building it, putting it in front of people. Here's what we're going to give you. You know, if you want this size at this size bar, this is the package for it. If you want this size picture, this is the package for it. And then we could build it off of, I just think going and getting that information from newspapers, other online magazines, and Will itself. I mean, that's another point. Why do people do over, you gotta think about that. Why do people donate to Will over WEFT? Brian?
You get the, no. And so, no, Brian, you were gonna look up the.
Yeah, so for what I put in this media kit that an intern and I made was for choose your own show underwriting, it's $4.97 for a year. For constant rotational underwriting, it's $9.94 for a year. And for podcast sponsorship, which I kind of forgot was a thing, it's $14.91.
$1,400, $1,400.91.
For the podcast sponsorship.
The thing about streaming it too is that you don't have to limit yourself to underwriting and champagne.
No, you don't. And you can, when it's just podcast, what doesn't go over the air, the rules go away.
Could I state the obvious? Bob said, why do people give to Will and not WEFT? Because people have heard of Will.
Well, and that's the thing
this
too,
is
though.
providing value and content.
Yeah.
Just like as you're saying, the music blog. I used to write for music magazine, and sometimes when I'm going around stuff, I wish I got the WEFT archives page where it just got people's websites, but I've kind of wished the WEFT page would actually kind of bring all that stuff together and make it easy. So it makes it easy, and like you're saying, people are writing articles. Kristen does some of that sometimes too. So you'll just know, like, if you're WEFty, like that's the value. People are just providing that as they do, all in the one place. And it keeps, and it's almost like bringing them into the station. Because one of the things I joined the radio station for, and maybe I'll also bring folks to join us,
Does anybody
is
have any
people
other
talking about lots of
topics?
related music. Not this one I know about, but other stuff. I'm like, oh, check that band out. Go check the. I'm just saying, I'm actually developing slightly new, different ideas on them. But
Okay. All right. Anybody have any specific topics?
I wanted to say something about the website, because one thing we do have a neighbor station in Bloomington, Indiana, which is a community radio station Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And they have a nice website, they have things laid out, just for reference.
Yeah.
You know, it might be a good thing to.
Oh no, and I've built the shell of the website already, and I think some people who were prior to the way this board is now has seen it. But yeah, and I went and like looked at award-winning websites because they give awards for radio and for TV and stuff like that. And I went there and I looked at their websites. It's the same thing when I did a bakery's website. I went to the top bakery in New York City, the top bakery in California, and you want to mimic something like that. Like I'm a Rodney Bingenheimer fan, so I listen to K-Rock and I it's your station, I know, right?
Yes,
Oh, wait, Rocky and Rock.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and I get his playlist, and I play a lot of music that Rodney has played over the years. But I've looked at their website too, so I definitely want it to be something that's, because I know we've talked about this before, not maybe in this meeting, but our website is really cumbersome.
Yeah,
You click here to go to here to go to here to go to here,
too little.
and there's lots of like, I'll give you a paragraph description of what's going to be on the next page as soon as you click this link at the bottom. It's like, okay, so I mean, just like making things easier. We're in a day and age, especially with donations, the easier it is to donate, the better. If we can, I mean, I know we can't do PayPal or whatever, but that's the way of the world. People don't want to fill out a form or click 5 times.
I hate to interrupt this, but how much time are we going? Because I need to put more
It's
money in the
8:30.
dirt. Yeah,
8:31 right now.
8:31.
And we have elections to get to.
Oh.
Why don't I go downstairs and put down an order?
Well, she can't stay past 9.
I'm leaving in
Yeah.
29
Yeah,
minutes.
I'm going to run out of time on the meter in 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to make a comment on the finance stuff, so
We'll go ahead.
Okay,
and
so
do
go
that.
ahead.
I'll be right back.
So one thing, I don't know if you guys know, but I went to the farmer's market last weekend, and I went up there and represented WEFT. And, nobody really knew much about WEFT, which was fine. I handed out a bunch of schedules.
It's not fine, actually.
Well,
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
mentioned you were going to do that, thank you.
So just as a quick summary, so not a lot of people were talking to me, so whenever I caught someone's eye, I said, community radio, would you like a schedule? And I gave out 40 schedules, which is good, that gets us out there a little, because nobody really knows about that. But my point is I realize we're going at this from the underwriting part of it, but the other thing is there are a ton of non-profits here in Champaign-Urbana. And my point is that every one of those non-for-profits and everyone in those non-for-profits should know WEFT.
Yeah,
I think that
Yes.
PSA box should be full.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
when I go down to PAC on Saturday morning, you know what they have on? They have Will on there. Why isn't that WEFT? Why isn't there a WEFT sticker in the window? Now, some of those people overlap. We know it. That's one example. But my point is, and I'll be brief here, is to me, WEFT is that building. WEFT is 90.1, and that's what I know and love. And I don't know how to tell if the community will still support 90.1, because if we take out, we're looking at ways to get this. Now, if we take out a loan, that's an extension to the end. If we sell the building, that's an extension to the end. I would like to see, and obviously I'm not the one who makes the decision, but we need to see a little ramp up so our future predictions are good, so that we see the two things we're missing: volunteers, money. Have people not know about us? People don't know about us. So if we have 3 months left, I know that there is a plan being made, and I would just like to say, I wish that would include somehow that we contact the non-for-profits, and that we really get out there, at least in the farmer's market. I have 2 small kids. Andy is my neighbor. She knows that I am renovating my house, and my building permit is going to run out pretty soon. So my time is very, very limited. Maybe once a month I can do the farmer's market. I think it would be important that if we could get some other folks there, and if we actually made it look nice. I mean, I did what I could. I made a sign, and that's all the time that I had.
Right.
And it's a nice sign, but
Very nice.
it would be nice, like, you go in there, you look at Lefty, who sits over the control room. He looks pretty beat up,
Yeah.
or she, whatever you say. I can't drag him around because he might fall apart. So So let's make a stuffed animal lefty, and let's take him or her
Yes.
to those events and get him out there, so people look at it, they say, I've got a plain card table with some stuff on it, and I at least had my sign. The other thing I can do, I'm good at carpentry and things. I'm gonna build a sign out of some scrap wood that flips out, so we can put left and, training and all of that. But I would really like to have that little, a lefty that I could put on the table. I don't know if I'm officially on the engineering committee yet, but I'm hanging out with those guys.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell them, look, let's build a tower out of popsicle sticks, and let's paint that thing metallic, where everybody sees in their mind as a radio tower. Let's put a flashing LED on that thing, and I'll put that on the table. And the kids will go, ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's get the stuff out there. It's just, we've gotta put some effort in here. And honestly, my time is still limited. I don't know why I was called to come here when I was, but I did. And I hope I'm not too late. That's all I want to say.
Oh,
Jermaine?
thank you.
Jermaine, can I get 2 updates?
Uh-huh.
He's talking about tabling and getting out in the community. Last I heard, we were doing Homer Soda Festival and Quad Day, but I haven't heard any confirmation that we got tables or booths or anything. Do you know any update on that?
I do not. You
We
know
only
anything
have one
about
person volunteered for Homer Soda Day anyway.
What?
So we only have one person who's volunteered for it.
I volunteered.
Oh, you did?
I did it last year with Gina, and I'm available again.
No,
I didn't know it was
the last time I
okay.
saw the write-up, there was only one person on there last time I saw.
See, I don't even know about the write-up.
It's right there by the door.
Behind
It's
the
on
door.
list.
Behind the door.
I had no idea that was what that was for.
Yeah, you sign up for events.
Okay,
Up there.
so are people signing up now?
I think so. I mean, there's
Listen, I signed up for the Folk and Roots Walk.
Okay, well, I mention it because we, several years in a row, did not get a space at Quad Day because we didn't apply when we were supposed to, even though we kept saying we were going to.
a space there.
We do?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now, the problem is the Quad Day is 3 months away.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm aware of that.
U of I.
It's still before WEFT Fest, though.
Okay, well, I'm saying,
But
we
we're
may not
3
be
months
here
away
in
from not
3
being
months.
here.
But what I'm saying is that U of I has a special office up there for volunteering. And I don't know if that's for internal stuff or not, I didn't call it. So I think we should, instead of putting all our eggs in one basket, let's talk to the volunteer office and see if we can't get on there and get this ball rolling.
Does anybody, I don't even know who is our liaison for Quad Day, but could they get on, check into what you're saying?
Well,
I mean, I can call them up and check, I just, like I say, I'm pretty new here, so I take.
It'd be wonderful if you could, and just get back to Jermaine and me about it.
Do I submit to the WEFT BoD mailing list what I found? How do I do it?
I'd say, Jermaine, and we have the officers of the board, I don't know that, you could mail it to everybody, but I don't know that it would.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do.
We can give you our contact info at the end of the
Here's
meeting.
there you go.
Sure. So Jermaine, did you want to move
So
on?
now
while
we
we're-
have the table there, so what information, what other information are we getting for
okay.
the Quad Day? 'Cause Brian said we have a table there.
Yes, Laney made sure about that, which is excellent. At Quad Day, that's one of the things that, all the posters, I've assessed them. We've got a whole West, used to sell a bunch of posters. And we've got a bunch of posters out there that this is your Brandon College and it's beer. Has nothing to do with music. So we can sell those, get rid of some of that stuff, and make a little bit of money on the side in addition to that. Plus, I had already had some ideas as far as fundraising outreach, including at that type of thing where we have,
What else do
we
you
have
have?
portable mixer and other stuff. I've got my
Yeah.
own mixer and everything else.
Yeah,
And so we've got music playing there.
Of
We've
course.
got something to show them kind of what we'd be doing, explain kind of
Yes.
the types of music we do. So it's not just we do this stuff; they can hear it, and they can see it. And I have some other things about some other pop-up kind of events we could do, pop-up bake sale kind of things, which is not just a little bit of money, but it hits different crowds,
Yes.
targeting different crowds.
Ooh, I like the
And the
bake sale.
assessment stuff, the different types of vinyl, the different types of musical fest. When we have WEFT table there, we can have a little bit of the blues
Okay.
vinyl or something, or that type of thing too.
Let's-
Which
Let's accelerate through
Yeah, I
the
was trying
agenda.
to.
I wanna
Yeah.
look like-
Um,
I wanna look like vinyl.
I got, maybe it's related to this, just one thing to say in terms of staff. So my feelings about staff right now is, so there's Laney and I.
Yeah.
And the way that we're working together, I like what Rose says, that there's two things. There's money, which we can get through underwriting and donations, and there's those are the two things that kind of make up WEFT. And right now, I kind of feel like Lainey and I are both focusing more on volunteers, less on underwriting and donations. And I don't know if it would be a benefit just for WEFT to consider maybe hiring someone who, like, in terms of staff, and I'm not sure how staff works, I'm not sure if the pay that's coming in for me is tied to me, but if maybe even part-time, find someone to come in and instead of me doing my position, I have Lainey organize all the volunteers and all the staff and that stuff, because she's really good at that stuff. And then we could have somebody just focus on underwriting and getting donations and organizing those things. And then I can be a waiter at Steak and Shake.
And you do what?
Be a waiter at Steak and Shake.
Okay.
But I just want that to be considered, because I feel like as staff is right now, Lainey and I are kind of like she's managing me, and I feel like the two of us are kind of doing the job of one person, and there's a lot of things being somewhat neglected.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so, yeah, just.
Thanks, Brian. We'll talk about staff stuff.
But thank you for
Yeah, that's good to know.
Really appreciate
Can I just
that.
add something real quick on that?
Right.
People complain on, the emails and don't go to meetings, but people are on emails complaining about things that are happening at WEFT constantly. And not only do Lainey and Brian have to take care of volunteer stuff, they have to take care of interpersonal problems at
Yes.
WEFT that do not need to exist
Right.
in a community radio station. And the hand-holding and the babying of 50-year-old white-haired men is extremely disgusting at the radio station. And the fact that they gang up on people and move around in packs to dominate other people in the
Yeah.
place it's disgusting to me. And I know I've had my motherfuck this moment with Todd last week, but I just as a person who's been there 8 months, it's driving me out.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
And we definitely need to.
And it needs to be addressed. And I don't care if someone's been there 30 years and they're complacent in that spot. If they've been there 30 years and they're continually doing something for the radio station, that's one thing. If they've been there 30 years, they gave up 10 years into it, and they've been there 20 years doing nothing, they need to get the hell out.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
I hope this is on the record.
This is most
And
definitely.
808
It's both
North
streaming as well
Prairie
as being
Street is my
recorded.
address.
Hell, I think that should be the WEFT. Serious request. Could that be the WEFT Essentials this week?
That's.
Put a recording, you can put it
I
in.
like that.
I
Okay.
want that to be the WEFT Essentials.
Okay.
GTFO.
Okay. So
I said hell, John.
we're gonna
It's
accelerate. We're gonna accelerate through. We've done the treasury report with the 3 month projection. We station manager report we'll put on hold. We'll table the minutes until next meeting.
It looks like Center City Partnership, mailing, and elections.
Okay. So elections first. As you guys know, Sandra resigned,
Which is good, since our things were all messed up.
and we need a treasurer by the bylaws. Now here's the deal: the bylaws also say we need a chair and a vice chair.
Wait, they say we need a vice chair?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
So we're gonna look at the bylaws. It's what, section 6?
We also need a secretary, so I can't suddenly come in to fill in.
Well, the problem is, if we're down to 5 board members and we have 5 offices, we don't have a lot of wiggle room.
Look, I think once the stuff about it being extremely dire went on WEFT O, right?
Yep.
Okay, then we're going to have an emergency meeting very shortly, and we're going to discuss this. I think now that, Robin mentioned to me that it would help, if this is before this is going out, but if we had some idea about how long we had and those people could plan, it was kind of like, as he was telling me, that we've been hearing about WEFT having problems for a long time,
Yeah.
but like, what is that going to be?
Yeah.
So now that we've come, not me, but this has come out and we have a set deadline, I think that will like light the fire under people's asses, where they'll be like, oh, we've got to get. So
Yeah,
we can,
exactly.
And then that's when we're like, okay, if you're not here, out. All right, who's here? Let's go. All of us on the same page. I think
Right.
it will actually make people, and thus we can then start saying, okay, we need treasure. We need these things. So I think we can maybe address some of those things at that emergency meeting with associates.
So okay,
Hannah is here.
what?
I'm sorry, it's a game reference.
Okay, so for requirements, the bylaws require a certain number of offices, and then for us to be recognized as an organization in the state of Illinois, we're required certain offices.
We are not required a treasurer.
Correct, by
So
the state of Illinois.
what
by
offices
laws.
are we required by the state of Illinois to have?
A chair, a secretary, I believe.
Okay, so we absolutely have to have a secretary and a board chair by the end of this meeting. And if we can have a vice chair and a treasurer, then that's nice.
Right.
But if we're literally down to 5 people, and we currently have 5 offices that we're supposed to have, we can't just be like, well, Denise, I guess you're vice chair. I mean, that's not really fair.
Yeah, in addition, I will be around for a few more months as it is either way, so I will be going several months, and I won't be able to
Right.
either.
And then we still wouldn't be able to fill all 5.
Unless the U of I folks want to give me that job position,
Right.
in which case again, but I don't.
Open one hand.
I just don't want to paint ourselves into a corner that we can't even fill the basic requirements.
Sure.
And again, SOP is nice, bylaws are really important, and then like state and federal laws are super duper important. So.
Right, but less requirements for the Illinois thing, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the Illinois rules had a lot less requirements than I expected.
Well, that's good.
In fact, now that I'm remembering them, I'm wondering if they specified officers at all.
Okay, so to explain to people exactly what's going on here, if I understand correctly, you want to switch from board chair to treasurer?
Yeah, I believe we need a treasurer, and I think people on the board, I'm the.
You had the most experience with it.
With money and finance, and you've done the position before too in the past.
Not for WEFT.
No.
I thought you did when you were on the board.
I was
before.
never treasurer.
No, not you, but I thought when you.
Jermaine was
No.
never treasurer. He was on the finance committee, but that's.
Oh.
I thought you were treasurer.
No, I was never. Not for WEFT.
Okay.
But I've, been on the board, and I juggle finances for the nonprofit I work for, and I've also been on the board of, $40 million a year public agency,
Right.
so,
So if we're going to speed
Budgets
this up, we need to have an election for treasurer. And if you're not elected treasurer, then everything else can stay fine the way it is. But if you're elected treasurer, then we may need to have subsequent other elections.
I just have to vote now, 'cause I'm ready to vote for that.
So should I pass out ballots to the 5 people?
Do we need to have it?
We do.
Okay. So
I believe we absolutely have to, and I'm saying whether or not we absolutely have to, that's how I'm doing it. So, because it only takes one person, I think, to object if we don't. So, do you have anything you want to say before we vote?
I think I already did.
Okay. If you want to vote for Jermaine for treasurer, write Jermaine on the sheet. If you want to vote no, and if you don't vote either way. And how many are required? Is it 3/5? One
No,
half?
it's just a majority.
Well, that's 3/5 because.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's 5 of us.
Okay,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we should have Brian count the ballots, because Brian is not a board member, and this is all kinds of official. So there are 5 ballots. If Jermaine has at least 3 of them, then he wins, but please give us a total.
Got 8 for Jermaine.
This is in Chicago, okay, good.
Yeah, right.
4, 5 for Jermaine.
Okay, which means we then have to come up with,
A board chair.
yeah, we need a board chair, and that leaves
I
Andy.
nominate Todd Hunt.
Oh God, yeah, okay. So we have,
I'm so sorry.
just for the sake of it, we have Denise, we have Andy, we have Andrew, and we have me. If Andrew were to do it, then we would have to replace the secretary, and I don't.
Yeah, I don't really want to go through that.
Okay,
You really don't, trust me.
so I will volunteer. I have made very clear I don't want to be board chair, but I don't really feel that I have a choice if people choose me. So I will run for board chair reluctantly with the understanding that Jermaine and I will partner so that I can rely
Before we
on
have a
his.
Okay, I would say that I most likely am moving in several months, so therefore I don't feel I'm a viable candidate. Other than that, I think of us left, Andrew and Todd have been on the board the longest at various points and have a fair amount of experience.
I agree,
So,
because
And you don't want to.
I would, and I don't feel, and honestly, I don't feel qualified to be chair. There you go.
Okay, so I think that would be John
I
Thiel
can
and
make
then
cookies.
one person, okay.
I
I
can-
just want to make that clear also to people listening, that it's not also just by default, but you've actually been on the board a number of years, as had Andrew.
Well, thank
So
you.
had Andrew wanted to be, then it would maybe
Right.
be viable, but okay.
Yeah, I don't want to fight anybody for it, but if somebody's gotta step up,
I mean,
that's
I
why I'm
honestly
on
would
the
have
board at all.
considered it if I was gonna be staying for another year or something, but I'm not.
And I
gonna
should
do
say
it.
my name is TODD, so in case anybody,
So not SCOTP?
no, don't confuse people.
As funny as that would be,
We've been called other names, Jermaine more than I have.
people have been calling me Eric for years, and I couldn't figure out why.
Yeah.
It's because of an old LARP character I used to have.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, are all 5 ballots in?
Yes.
I just can't wait for all the conspiracy theories about
Yeah.
how we wedged down Pinky and Mark just so that we could get Todd.
Yeah, because this is
Oh,
obviously my
gosh.
lifelong goal is an unpaid position with lots of responsibility.
Yes, and a
You've been
station that
working
is
for it
going
for
in.
years, so.
Great.
Okay.
Five for Todd,
Is it 5?
Todd.
Okay, do
Five
we need,
for five.
do we have any other vacancies we need to fill?
Nope.
You're
I don't.
secretary, you're at large, you're comfortable not being anything, right?
Do we need like a vice?
I mean, I should ask, does anybody want to run for vice chair because it's vacant?
Would you like to?
I can't run.
No, I'm
No.
not actually doing Denise.
Basically,
What do I
Between
do?
us two.
Not, what do I do? What do they do?
you would just fill in for me if I couldn't attend a meeting.
But then see, I don't even feel qualified to do that.
Well, then we don't have one at all.
But you get to put Vice Squad on your car.
I will say this, I will
I
nominate
want
Denise for vice chair simply because she is the only one without an office and she's not moving away in 2 months.
Yes, correct. So again,
But
I
if
put
you're-
myself
you're-
in that.
you're
as
willing
well.
to-
Qualified.
That makes sense. For me too, so.
And that should sound a lot more flattering than it did, but
Do I
All
vote
right.
for myself?
If
you
you want
should.
to.
Well, we vote
I've
for
heard
it.
of people losing because they didn't vote for themselves.
That happened on Golden Girls.
Well, I meant in real life.
I like Golden Girls.
Golden Girls is-
Grew up in
Okay.
Can I vote for the alter ego?
Votes for the alter
Oh.
ego would count as Denise, with prior arrangement.
Alright.
It would complicate things unnecessarily.
Next show, you're just say you're the Vice also.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, that would make
You're
me
the
the
vice head in
that would
charge
make
of
me the
alter
alter
ego.
ego. I don't want to be the alter ego. I don't even want to be vice alter ego. I'll run for Rodney on the Rock. How about that?
There you go. You're Rodney. Rodney.
Rodney.
Rodney's gonna be.
Rodney B.
Yeah.
How did Denise do?
5 for Denise.
Now, I'm guessing that means
Should have voted for
The
somebody
foul
else.
stench,
I'm
the
guessing-
foul stench of responsibility.
I'm guessing that means I need to email everybody and be like, "Hi, I'm your board chair."
Yep.
Okay.
Oh God, when they find out I'm vice chair, they're
And I
just
can take it off front though for.
Do what I do, put it in a separate folder.
Can I be taken off of that?
You want dare, do it
Especially,
I think
just
also,
to
Okay.
say,
I think also in the
especially a
email,
couple
you
of
might want to
people that-
mention
oh,
when the
man,
next elections
okay.
for the board is, so that if people are concerned, or they're excited, or if they're upset
Okay,
about this,
so-
they can
So
join and know how to do so.
I have 2 immediate follow-up questions. One, well, we're doing member election next, right? The letter. So then I only have one question. We talked about abuses of the mailing list, and it was in closed session, so I have to be careful what I say. But we talked about abuse of the mailing list before. Could we authorize that there are bannable offenses on the mailing list if people are committing illegal activity on the mailing list?
Yes, that would be a nice,
What typical?
that would be a nice thing to tap.
Libel,
back on.
slander,
Oh.
and personal attacks
Of
that
course.
go beyond. Because I don't
That'd be
believe
a
it.
nice topic for you.
Incitement.
I mean before June.
Okay.
I mean, like, does Laney have the author or whoever is in charge of the mailing list to take people off that are being
I don't think it's moderated, basically, no.
okay? Well,
Currently it is.
again, I'm totally against speech codes. I'm totally
but
against
on most
anything that
places
is
or whatever,
not
there's a
illegal.
moderator.
But if
Most places
something,
there's a moderator who does what
Yeah.
you're saying.
so I think we should look into that between meetings.
Okay.
I'd say.
However, that may be defined, associates can weigh in on what they think is appropriate,
Right.
whatever behavior, that we can do that, so.
Well, the thing is, it concerns email that I haven't even
I know,
gotten
I
yet
know.
that was sent today, so.
I'm aware of it, I'm just saying, as long as associates feel that they have some.
But Bob made a very good point. We have new people that are already being driven out simply by
I know.
a few toxic personalities that can't shut up.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
that, it's not worth losing people over people that we should lose.
I
Okay.
agree.
Member elections.
Yes,
Um,
and you might want to bring people up to snuff who weren't here.
right, so,
Oh, can I add one thing? So I have been asking for feedback on the letter for like a month, And I think one person out of the 7 people I've been, and I'm not complaining, but I've been asking for feedback on the letter, and while there's one board member who acts like it's the biggest deal in the world, I have not heard from her at all in response to it, and we've been dealing with other emergencies, and the fact of the matter is, despite one board member who thinks we should drop everything and do this, and the bylaws do say we need to advertise that membership elections are coming up, we don't know that we can afford the postage for 2 mailings, and we haven't heard from anybody wanting to run.
Brian, do you have a quick way to look up what the mailing for Pledge Drive costs?
No, I never got it.
Okay.
I think,
For Pledge Drive,
Yeah,
it was over 500.
see.
Yeah,
okay.
Vicky lied.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
would need to
I-
spend total of $1,000.
Should I state that on the record? It would.
That was my memory of it.
It would have been over $500 if we got a deal.
Right.
Mm.
My
Yeah,
memory, no, I mean just the postage.
Oh, the postage, oh, I don't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I was thinking with the printing.
yeah,
alone.
the printing cost, yeah.
Do you remember the number that were printed?
1,000.
It was like 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, we folded a lot
Yeah.
of things.
It was like 1,000.
Yeah.
And it seems relevant to bring up, and I already told Jermaine, I know 2 postal carriers in Champaign who said it is a joke at the post office that over 50% of what we sent out came right back to them.
Oh, shoot.
We would save a lot of money if we could just clean up our.
Well, that's the problem is there's no editing of, I mean, yeah.
The list,
But you guys should
Donor
do that.
Snap is, pile of hot garbage. on
which we pay
Friday.
$79 a month for.
Yeah.
So I think that's also when we discussed it earlier, I think we should just drop it.
I've lost.
Yes, I know you'll hate it as well.
Let me broach this. Is there any way we could electronically send out a letter?
We should, yes, I don't think we should do print.
I
It's just-
wonder the bylaws are ridiculously specific on
They
that.
are.
And so I wonder if the bylaws prohibit that. I think they do.
The bylaws are from before we even had email.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
So doesn't mean you-
Oh my
Right.
God.
I can't
Well,
believe
then hold
not
up.
to.
Could we pass then as a board, we pass a resolution that it does not have to be, like, can we make a revision to it?
We can't change the bylaws.
But, can we, if we posted it, like we did the whole process of, we'd like to change the bylaws, associates, you're notified, we're doing.
That takes like a year.
Yeah, so the
It'd be a
two,
whole year, not like a month?
no.
It takes forever. That's
So
why we
this-
don't.
Say US mail, or does it just say mail? Because mail is,
So the two, so the two
I think it's more
mailings,
specific than that, I think it actually says.
yeah, but it says postal mail or something. So the
Yeah.
two
Paper,
mail,
I'd say in paper.
so the 2 mailings combined would probably cost combined $250.
Together?
Yeah, because if we figure $1,000, because bulk mail is 11 cents per copy.
Uh-huh.
So 1,011 is,
Well, then Vicky was right.
yeah, so Vicky was right.
With,
Well, then I owe an apology.
postage.
So,
Postage.
I guess we should go forward with the member selection at that price point.
I'm confused.
When do you expect the letters back?
Hmm?
When do you expect the letters to be returned to?
Well, okay, actually, the also other question is though, how much does it cost to get supplies? So like envelopes
Yeah.
and all of those things, printing and envelopes. So actually, it does cost significantly
These
more.
don't just go as postcards, or?
No.
No.
I can't remember the last time I got one.
We have to send ballots.
And you know what? Now that I think of it, I never even got my pledge drive letter.
So basically, the discussion that we need to have is because of that cost.
And the late date, because we were supposed to do it in April.
And either.
Because of the late date. Oh, there's still time.
There it is.
And the cost.
Hold on. Okay, we're talking about the board. It says election of board members by the members shall take place each June and shall be conducted through the mail.
So it
Which,
could be.
it could be email. I thought I remember it specifically mentioned paper.
I can send you the format
Yeah.
that is, that some of the non-for-profits use.
Yeah.
You open it, it's a very nicely laid out letter, and I can't remember what form that is, but it would be the neat way to send it.
I have
Well,
a
I thought I
com-
remembered it mentioning paper specifically.
I have a
but that's just
compromise proposal. Why don't we send the letter by email, and then we'll still send the ballots by regular mail?
I would
Send
never
it
vote by-
MailChimp and have them
most people vote-
online.
Just have a little poll, like a little poll thingy online, or you could vote like that next to that, or
That leads to all kinds of fraud.
Yeah.
or
possibilities.
at the meeting itself. I don't think we should just send out, because I would never, I also say it's a waste of paper to send it to me. I imagine there's probably other people, like if it's ballot sent to me, either I wouldn't do it, because it's extra effort, or it's just, or it's gonna, you know, so I'm
As
just
the
thinking.
nominating committee, I'm not comfortable with that.
Oh, I agree, the poll online opens up all kinds
Okay,
of
but then at the
people
next,
voting 5 times.
Yeah,
well, okay, but then like just at the meeting, when we're voting at the associates meeting, so if they actually would have a vote, then they better show up.
well,
They
then,
should be
no,
there
no, the
anyway.
member election has to be separate from the associates meeting.
Okay,
That just has to be a completely separate thing.
then we can just have at WEFT, the Great Hall, hey everyone, because again, we're at final times here.
I
So
know.
if you want to show up and be here and care
That's
about
right.
that, then they
That's
better show
right.
up.
The
Put
thing
your ass in
the thing is,
here.
it
Well,
has to be open to people that aren't associates. It has to be open to, and
That's
they,
fine, but Great
they're
Hall
not
meeting,
on,
we're
and they're
all-
not on the mailing list, is what I'm saying. They're only on,
Well,
so,
that's the problem though, if Denise didn't receive hers, I didn't receive mine on it.
It's not reaching him anyway.
So if we're
Yeah,
with mine.
exactly.
So if we get to the meeting next month, people are just gonna say, well, I never got it,
Yeah.
so it doesn't count, and there's gonna be like another 2-year drag out conversation about it.
No.
Another document.
well,
being
here's
created
the
about
thing
it.
though, if we don't have anybody file, there is no election.
Hey, Brian,
Alright, but
keep on going.
So what my suggestion is, why don't we email the letter that we normally send asking for candidates? Why don't we
Yeah.
email that ASAP?
put a
If we-
deadline that they need to
Put a deadline. If we don't get any candidates, we don't have to do a follow-up mailing.
put an email out saying, well, I guess we're not having elections because no one mentioned it.
Right.
No one wanted, so I also express that as well, so that people don't feel like, oh, who knows? Nope, y'all didn't want to volunteer then, fine, nothing.
Right. And the thing is, they can still run at the associates meeting in a different
Exactly,
way.
yes.
But,
Well, maybe that will make them like, oh, but I wanted to. Then you're like, okay, then fine. Then you better show up at associates meeting
okay,
because that's your
well,
next chance.
let's go ahead and resolve something tonight then, since I believe this is my responsibility to coordinate. I have sent out 2 emails to the board members here wanting feedback on the letter. If you have any feedback.
I didn't send you something back. I'm
Right.
sorry, but I didn't have any more feedback.
Okay, no feedback.
I kind
No
of told you.
feedback.
I thought I told you that sort of in person.
You haven't even read it yet.
I'm not sure I got it.
So you need to read it.
No
No
feedback.
feedback. No feedback?
No, I sent you a thing where I just said I changed.
Yeah, you're the one person that got back to me,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's resolve, sometime this week, I need to email and say, we are in keeping with the bylaws, emailing this out, and the actual election can still take place by postal mail if need be.
6.03. You can reference that. Bylaws 6.03.
Yes, but
But I would in the email reference that so that people know exactly where to go.
the thing is,
So they can double check it for
I
themselves.
understand reasons that the bylaws say that the election needs to be by mail. I don't understand why we would need to spend money on a mailing announcing an election that might happen also by postal mail.
Okay, so tell people that if they want to run,
Mhm.
they need to, outline a process for them, and they need to also specifically email you and tell you that they're running,
Right.
so we know whether we would need to send out the ballot.
And I feel like there should also be something, if you did not receive a pledge drive letter, you need to get yourself added to the list so you will receive a ballot.
Yep.
Okay?
And
Just say,
I
John's in
would
best
say
interest, hey.
Denise and Bob should already follow up with either Laney or Brian about that.
But
Since
what else do I need to get on? I haven't moved since I joined WEFT. And
Then you probably-
September
Again, I'm still not on several listservs, even though I've been saying this for like 2 years.
Is where, so it should.
So
I'm still
don't,
not on that list of pictures.
alright,
Alright, is that taken care of?
yep,
Okay.
the C item, and this will be the last thing we'll wrap up after
The bylaws
this.
can be changed by us without special meeting.
Item C, if we
I'll read
want,
that later.
item C, if we want
9.01.
to.
I'm sorry, yes, I'm writing it down. What, Jermaine?
Okay, so we'll wrap up with this.
Uh-huh.
This was asked for by Laney. We got a communication from the Champaign City,
Central City
Central
Partnership.
City Partnership, which is basically a collaboration of all the businesses in downtown Champaign, Center City Champaign, and Campus Town. Basically, they were wanting us to renew our membership at $100. Basically, it's a great chance to put your name in front of all the businesses who get their mailings. It allows you to attend their events. which again gives you chances to network. I don't know if we've been taking advantage of that.
I
You
am,
know if we've been to their events, Brian? If Lane's been?
I haven't.
Okay, so
I have not as a web person.
you have as a
Did
web
you see any Westies there?
Before, no.
I am a skinflint and I advertise, and I endorse this.
Okay. So, it costs $100 for the year, which pretty cheap for that. So basically,
Do we need to take a vote?
we need to take a vote and authorize Laney or Brian to renew our membership.
Is this a roll call around the table?
No, this is.
Okay, I vote yes.
I vote yes.
I'm not sure.
I vote yes.
What exactly does it give us again, or give us again?
Marketing, it allows us to attend events and network with the business owners of Champaign.
So I guess if we're trying to build up
You
and
mean
get rid of the
potential
underwriting.
Potential
It
underwriters.
would be kind of a
Okay,
handy thing
sure,
to make
yeah.
this
Okay,
connection.
so you vote yes?
Yeah,
What about you?
yeah,
I
right,
say
sure.
yes. I also though want to ask Brian, is there something we could just substitute for donor snap? Because that's something else on this
The vote is
topic.
5 yes.
That's $79 a month.
I
So
know-
that would actually give us, if we cut that very short, but that would give us basically the funds to do this other thing as well.
I've seen something else on the NFCB board, it's called Give Big, and we did something through them over the winter, and it seems a lot less bloated than donor snaps, and
How much
I
is it?
would, I don't
Is it
know
free
the
or is it-
cost. No,
Okay.
it's definitely not free, but it would, or if we could just start donor snap over again, because I remember when I first started volunteering here in August, I spent hours and hours just trying to untangle the mess that was donor snap, where we had duplicate entries in, names spelled wrong.
Yeah, donor
numbers
snap
wrong,
seems to be a
those
bad
things.
thing.
It seems like it just wasn't set up very well.
Okay, so then perhaps related to the finance thing, as well as even a little bit how to pay for this $100 other thing, could you look into, by the next meeting, other replacements, either free options or much less cheaper than $79, that you feel that it would be viable as someone having to use it, thus you wouldn't like be like, I would hate my life, it's free, but I could never use it, versus this is $5 and I could deal with
This
it.
is instead of what?
And donor snap, which is on here for $79 a month,
Okay,
so that's, would be cutting.
Yes,
this
Denise.
amount.
This, again, I don't know exactly how this works, maybe somebody can look into it, but you know, my daughter runs a flower farm, and they were trying to get funds together, you know, like group funding to buy a greenhouse, and they did this thing through something called Kiva,
Yeah.
Kiva. I mean, I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but it might be some sort of fundraising type thing or something, I don't know.
Crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding.
Mm-hmm.
We've had our experiences with that, but
But we also now have a deadline, basically, we've got like 3 months.
yeah.
So we,
Yeah.
again, as Robert pointed out to me, I told it to you, that's something that maybe we can energize folks with and give them something concrete to look at.
Okay.
So may I ask just a quick question? So who's doing the planning for what we're gonna do? Is that something that's done on another committee? I'm just asking. Or what happens now?
We are probably going to have a special meeting before the associates.
Yeah.
okay.
I just wondered, I won't be part of it, obviously, because I'm not on the board, but,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm
So
looking
it'll
for
be-
full-time jobs, otherwise I'd say, oh, I'll be heading that, 'cause that's kind of the position I was moving to right more recently, but I now actually have to move basically all my spare time into looking for full-time jobs.
Could I ask an inconvenient question before we adjourn? Since this was the only night in May that we could have a
We're
board
gonna
meeting,
have a-
how in the world are we going to schedule a special meeting before June 7th?
All these people still have their fourth Monday open.
No.
Oh.
I already couldn't do.
We will have to work on that.
I was gonna run out
Oh,
of money
and I
in 3
can't.
months sooner.
Yeah,
We
well,
shouldn't
exactly.
announce a special meeting if we don't have a time we can do it.
Yeah, we'll have to try to figure, yeah, we're gonna have to try to figure out.
I guess you're gonna have to figure out with your work schedules, you're now the board chair.
Yes.
So the worst scheduling problem was actually Jermaine's schedule, when he was board chair, he's no longer board chair. So, then it, for example, we'd like to have him there,
Yeah.
but now it's not imperative that we have him there, whereas thus it is
I think
imperative.
having the treasurer is pretty important.
Well, yes, but what I'm saying is,
Not
if it's-
required.
yes,
Fair enough.
and if we are at the point where like we've got 3 months left and we're trying to do it,
Right.
I think that was some of the constraints were there. Possibly, but I mean, I would make
Well,
whatever. I can make whatever times you need me to make.
So that we can adjourn because Denise needs to leave,
Yeah, and
I
I need
have
to go
one
too,
request.
actually.
because we're talking about this special session and have no idea when we possibly could even get the 5 of us together to do it, my question is, could people email with a clear idea of what we need to do before the associates meeting so that there is a purpose in scheduling this other than just having a meeting that we're going to talk about the same stuff that we talked about?
Just
at the
a quick
associates
question.
Yes.
What do people's schedules look like the night of this associates meeting? Since most of us would probably be attending. Could we do it
That's in a
before
month.
June 7th? Do you mean before or after the meeting?
that? Before,
That's really early.
yeah.
All I know is I'm completely available.
Okay.
So we all have some
I-
obligations, but y'all gonna have to figure out some way to go around them, frankly, so that we can have a meeting. Because that's the only way it's just gonna work. And I know it's gonna be hard for y'all, but I don't
I
wanna tell
hadn't even
y'all, but
heard we
it's
were
gonna have
having
to
a special
happen.
meeting until this board meeting tonight.
It's gonna have to happen, otherwise, yeah.
We won't have to.
Okay, well,
We could think about streaming from wherever you are, if however, Skyping, whatever, Google Hangouts in, if there might be digital ways that you can, if you, to work it somehow, maybe that's how y'all can work it somehow, but.
All right, we need a motion to adjourn,
I make the motion because Denise and Andrew have to leave.
and a second,
Me.
and barring objection, approved by acclamation.
Okay.